Hello everybody and welcome to episode 15 Cracked Peg. I'm your host, Andrew6657. Alright guys, this week we're going to go ahead and do the top 5 of the weirdest and rarest action figures that are out there. I know most of the time we do talk about wrestling toys and comic book toys, but this time it's all over the place. So just be prepared what we're going to talk about. Just some of the craziest stuff. You probably don't know about most of this stuff. Hopefully you don't know about this stuff, and I will enlighten all you guys about some of these weird toys. We'll go ahead and start with number 5, would be the MacGyver action figure. There's only one MacGyver action figure out there. It was a television show for all of you out there who don't know. MacGyver was a television show that basically revolved around this guy, MacGyver, and he would accept secret missions to do things, and basically he always had to invent stuff along the way to escape or break in and so forth and so on. So it was always an interesting show nonetheless. I know he made a couple of bombs out of a couple of wires and duct tape and stuff like that. I know he even made a couple of hot air balloons, which probably the most fantastic thing of them all. But anyways, in 1993, a company called Glasslight in Brazil was actually the only people to ever produce this MacGyver action figure, and it's pretty hard looking, pretty generic looking, but it was official MacGyver action figure though. And I'm not sure how many were produced, but I'm probably sure you can't find one just anywhere and everywhere. And they were only released in Brazil with Spanish writing here on the box. So that's number 5, MacGyver. Alright guys, number 4 on the list is El Captain Rayo. Now, this figure is, once again, it's a Colombian exclusive action figure, and it's actually, if you remember of course you remember, the DC Superpowers line, you know that they were pretty much all the same scale, and so whenever they were done producing that line, the molds that they used to make those action figures were sold to a toy company in Colombia. Now this toy company in Colombia decided to put the head of Superman onto the body of the Flash and then put a cape on it and rename him El Captain Rayo. Now he had a little bio that he could shoot lightning and he could fly and do a lot of superhero type things, and they even had enemies, but none of those action figures even came out. So I think he even had an alter ego there too. But probably one of the rarest figures out there too, because I mean, once again, only released in Colombia, and it looked like Superman. It was just Superman with the Flash symbol. Guys, number 3 on the list of the most bizarre and weird and kinds of crazy action figures out there are called Dino Saucers. Now, raise your hand if you've ever heard of Dino Saucers. Nobody? I didn't think so. So anyways, it follows the same line, the same storyline as Transformers. An alien race of these bipedal dinosaurs come down to Earth and start fighting again, and they even have these little kids that are their sidekicks even, and they're the good guys, Dino Saucers, and the bad guys are something else. Anyways, the show was pretty successful to the point that kids watched it and remembered it, but they did have prototypes, molds made up for action figures, but they weren't, I guess, too strongly thinking that these figures would sell, because they decided not to produce the action figures and actually sold the molds to Glasslight, once again in Brazil, who actually produced the line of figures and sold them just as I think it was Galoob who was going to produce these originally, as they wanted to produce them, and they went ahead and produced I think almost 5 out of the 8 of the action figures that they actually did put out there, and as Dino Saucers too. But which is making them really hard to find too, because I mean most of these things were bought by kids, and they were just dug through the dirt, and how we all did with our action figures when we were kids. So that's number 3, Dino Saucers. Alright, number 2 on the list is from the movie Dick Tracy from the 1990. Does anybody watch that? No, nobody either. Okay. Dick Tracy was a movie released in 1990 based off the comic book from years and years before, and the radio show probably even before that. It was a movie, and the lead protagonist was Dick Tracy, and he had this gang of weird people out there, and one was named Flat Top, and he had like a flat top, and there was one named, whatever else, and there was also one named the Blank, who had a blank face. And I always thought it was probably the coolest action figures. You know, when you get an action figure, you look on the back at all the other action figures. It was the Blank. And it was really cool to see that action figure, but nobody could ever find this. But if you watch the movie, you learn that in the movie that Blank was actually Madonna's character, Breathless Mahoney, in disguise to fool Dick Tracy. But anyways, so they did not release the Blank action figure when they first set out the toy line, because if you would have bought one and realized it was a removable mask, you would have known the plot twist probably even before you saw the movie. So to preserve the integrity of the movie, they held back the whole line of the Blank action figures until the movie was released for quite a while. And even after then, even after the really didn't take off with all this Dick Tracy licensing type stuff that was going on, I think they even had trading cards, and there was Dick Tracy bubblegum and Dick Tracy soda pop. I mean, it was all over the place at the time. But anyways, they finally decided to release the Blank action figure only in Canada, only at Sears, and they only had 3,000 of them. So you probably could tell you how rare that is. Alright guys, what a week it was. It was a very holy week that we had. Thursday, we had Holy Thursday, which is a celebration of the Last Supper. It was pretty cool. I got to bring up the oil of the sick, which meant I carried a bottle of oil up to the altar, and I said, the oil of the sick. I got it right then at church. But it was really cool to be part of that ceremony. And Good Friday, this past Friday, we went and saw the Passion Play, which they do downtown in San Antonio here, and it was really cool, except it was in Spanish, and I don't really speak that much Spanish, but it was a pretty big crowd. I thought people would be more reverent to Jesus dying and all, but I mean, I guess that's they just wanted to come out and watch, or just hang out or whatever. But Saturday we had Easter Vigil, where I became full-fledged Catholic with everything. I got oil on my head, I got some gifts, I finally got to receive the Eucharist, so it was really, really cool. And even got to go eat chicken fried steak afterwards, which, chicken fried steak, always a good ending to a night. And Sunday, we chilled and hung out, me and my wife. We got some ice cream at Dairy Queen, and we also went and saw The Hunger Games, which is a pretty cool movie. I never read the book, but I had my wife and my sisters tell me about this movie, and it was pretty good. I mean, it told a really good story. It's very odd to see a young teenage movie as it is, with a girl who could actually act as opposed to just reading lines off of paper. So it was interesting. It was interesting. So you should go check that one out. Alright guys, that's all we had time for this week. Don't you forget to go ahead and like my page on Facebook. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I'll get some stuff up on eBay later, so if you would like to purchase one of my pieces, or you just go ahead and email me. And don't forget to holler at your boy, customize your toys. See you later. Mwah. Turn your wheel, turn your wheel. Whoa. Oh, now come out this way.
Oh, he's good, he's good.
Oh!
Like a boss.
Right there.
Like a boss.
Father Pat.
We got it. Congratulations, you're going to be on the next episode of Cracked Back.